Have you found that your discussions with church leaders are helpful in terms of inspiring them to be more courageous?
I do have those discussions as often as I can. I can't help but think of guys like Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who essentially was a pastor. He was a patriot. He was a spy and a martyr. Can you imagine living during the days of in the 1930s, the 1940s, with World War II and the Nazis, and so many passive pastors and church leaders allowed things to happen because they felt it was safer to keep their head down and their mouth closed and just kind of go along or turn their head the other way. And yet we see what happens when good people do nothing. Evil can triumph. And I'm not the most courageous person in the world, but I recognize that there's no easy way out of the cultural moment that we're in. I think good people either stand up and begin to roar, or we get tossed into the meat grinder, morally, spiritually, economically, politically, and it's not going to be pretty. So I'm doing all I can to fire up the family of faith. In fact, I have a new initiative that I'm bringing to the podcast world called the American Campfire Revival. I'm hoping to set a fire in the hearts of the family of faith, because without revival, I don't think we get out of this one.
Absolutely. I think revival, that it really is the key because America was founded as a Christian nation. So many people at the beginning of the country were Christian. We've lost that in our universities. We've lost that, businesses, like so many problems that the family unit deals with, I think comes from the fact that that has been lost. Do you feel like in a way revival could solve a lot of these other problems?
Revival is the only thing that ever has given lasting liberty and solutions to these kinds of cultural problems. Uh, One of the things that I did a couple of years ago during President Biden's first 100 days in office is I said to myself, wow, so he has a plan for 100 days. What's my plan? As an American citizen, as a member of the family of faith, do I have a plan personally? And so I decided I would make one. And it was during a time we were essentially under house arrest here in the state of California. Our governor had us under lockdown, couldn't go to church, couldn't go to businesses, couldn't go to school. And so I made 100 consecutive campfires in my backyard while I followed the executive orders from heaven, which were, if my people will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. What a novel concept. I mean, we don't have to wait for the enemies of liberty and our constitutional republic to turn from their wicked ways. He says, if my people. And I'm like, well, I'm one of your people, so I want to do this. And I did this live on Facebook, and tens of thousands of people joined me as we not only prayed, but we sought God and the principles that built the nation, which I have found to be outlined in this book written by my friend called The American Covenant, The Untold Story. And it shares that our founders, the forefathers and foremothers of our nation, understood that being in covenant relationship with God was essential. And that if we ever lost that friendship with the Creator, we would lose our way morally, economically, educationally, spiritually, politically. And in fact, we have. And so I'm relearning the principles. I'm sharing them with other people. We're praying together as a nation, and I'm bringing these backyard campfire revival meetings to the podcast world. And it's called the American Campfire Revival.
Wow.